Hello everybody, and it's the me, GamePang21, and today we're gonna have a double feature. Because, quite honestly, there isn't much really to talk about outside of, like, the PS5 stuff, and I don't get to talk about this person enough, at least I don't feel like I do, because they don't bring in a lot of views. But today we are talking about JaytechTV, the person who doesn't really release a lot of videos, but the videos that he does release have been getting shorter and shorter. I've covered him a couple times on this channel, but for those of you who may or may not know, JaytechTV is one of the older PlayStation fanboys that has been around on the internet for a number of years at this point. I distinctly remember Rags was how I was kind of introduced to him. But he doesn't release videos a lot because he mainly live streams because he doesn't want people apparently using his videos for commentary or critique type stuff. But I'm going to do two videos today because he's got two interesting videos that I wanted to cover. One that's an older one and one that's actually a newer one about the PS5 Pro. But the older one that we're going to be talking about, well, both of them kind of revolve around the PS5 Pro, so kind of lumping them together is cool. Plus, they're also only like 2 minutes apiece, so, I mean, that'll get me to that point. And again, there really isn't much else to talk about because I have to do work and stuff this time. Plus, I think the next video that I'll do is probably on Harmon Smith because of the whole Pal World drama thing. But I need time to work on that. I need time to go check his channel. But this is like a quick one that I've had prepared for a bit. With that being said, let's get started with the first of the two, being GameStop changed the trade-in value for the PlayStation 5. Now, this one's not necessarily salt and more of an informative video, so we're going to kind of speed run through this a little bit, but I still wanted to talk about it because of the reasons. Also, we're going to be skipping it past the first 10 seconds because that's mostly just his intro. With that being said, let's get started with this video, I guess.
I want to give you guys a quick update from my local GameStop, and if you have a good relationship with your GameStop or you don't, I would advise you to do the same thing that I'm going to be doing. Every Thursday, I'm going to go to GameStop to check on the value of my current PS5, since I am trading my PS5 in towards the PS5 Pro.
This is one of the things that I also find really interesting about how the PlayStation fanboys and the PlayStation people are always like, oh, well, why would you go into PC gaming? You literally are wasting your money on that, and yet you can't resell a lot of your stuff. It's like, dude, I've been able to resell a bunch of my PC parts, even individual parts, and repurpose parts for other purposes. Whereas you have to trade in the whole console plus a couple other things here that literally... He's going to go into some of the weird details here, but when I traded in my Xbox 360 for my Xbox One, they literally said, hey, you can trade in the cables and get like double the value. So how is trading in your console a better experience than having like a listing somewhere on eBay to get actual money into your hands in a secondhand market? Also, again, secondhand market, very strange. But yeah, anyway, just wanted to mention that.
I'm prepared that when I pick up the PS5 Pro, that my PS5 will be valued at only $200. It went down by $25. That's what my GameStop told me. This is another thing. It's only worth $290, and this is the digital PS5 or the digital slim PS5. It was not at $290 when I checked.
Now, $290 it's like, I guess, a bunch of money, but I find it interesting how, again, they say, oh, well, it's going to retain its value for a long time, and, you know, you can get this stuff. Like, again, this is one of the reasons why PlayStation fanboys, at least to me, in this context, are very strange, or they'll say, oh, well, we can get a bunch of money back for our thing, and then they trade it in for about, like, half the value, when I can still probably sell this laptop here that I have next to me for about maybe $1,000 something, even though it's a little bit long in the teeth. It still is pretty decent, and just one wipe and doing other stuff can get you doing it, so I don't know.
Before. So they're going down on the value. You need to check your local GameStop and make sure that the value is not steadily dropping. I'm going to check next Thursday and see what's going on. The associate told me you need to trade in your PS5 like it was when you got it. So that would be the white controller that looks like this, and that would also mean the classic panels. As you know, and as you can see right here in front of you, I don't have that on my PS5. My PS5 is black and red, and the original controller, or the controller I was using for.
I find that funny as well. That again, how is it easier to trade in your stuff if they have like very specific stipulations that you may or may not have in this context? Like that this has to be a warning to people that you can't trade it in because of these reasons. Like, excuse me? Again, what's the problem with just selling off parts and things that you already have for your PC, but yet trading in is a better value because you're going to go and do stuff, despite the fact that I get money for my stuff in a more cleaner way. I mean, it's a little bit more risky, I guess, because you're just doing it for like one other person, but still, like, how is this easier?
Very long time. It's also black and red. Luckily, I had the original PS5 controller, as you can see right here, the classic white. And I still have the original panels that I got when I got my system day one. So I'm all set. It's a little irritating that GameStop is going to randomly decrease the value of your current PS5. There are a good amount of gamers that I do know that are going to trade that in. I was thinking about giving this system to someone else, but
I mean, you can still give it to the other person. You can probably have them pay you the $290, which would actually be easier, and then you can give them whatever you want with the actual configuration of it. Again, all you'd really need to do is just wipe the system and then just give it to them and they can give you $290 to put towards the actual thing, because then that's still a PS5 for $290 that's slightly used. So why not give it to the person anyway? It's like, oh, well, it's going down in value. So just sell it to your friend. Like, if the friend has the money and is willing to pay you and is like, hey, I'll give you the money, or if they just want it, that's different. If you want to gift it to them and be a nice person, that's different. But again, you could sell it to the other person for the maximum value that you perceive it to be, around $300. How is it easier to just trade in the value to get the money back when you could sell it to your friend? I know some people are like, oh, well, don't sell it to your friend or whatever. It's blah, 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 blah. So, yeah. But, I mean, again, I've sold things to friends all the time that are willing to pay. And, again, even if they don't want it, or if they don't really have the money at the time or whatever, that's fine. Again, more complex than that. And this is like the lesser of the two videos. There's like 30 seconds left of that. I think I'm going to just stop it there, because that's really all that he had to do, was just like a PSA on the whole thing. But now, skimming again past the about 10-second mark, we are going to be watching the second video about my shocking PS5 Pro Day 1 experience, again by JaytechTV, because I need to make this video a bit longer, and these two videos kind of smashing together seems to make the most sense. I also forgot to mention, if you like what it is that I do, want to support me in any other way, shape, or form, links down to everything in the description below, but a like and subscribe is always enough. Anyway, back to this. So, this one's probably the weirder of the two. This one's gonna be mostly, you'll see what I mean here. But yeah, let's say about his shocking PS5 Pro experience.
Thank you guys for your patience. This is going to be a super short video. I can confirm, and as you can confirm in this video that you're seeing right now, that I do own the PS5 Pro. This was something that I didn't think I was going to get, and then I ended up getting it. Yes, let me interrupt my own self. Monday and Wednesday next week instead of...
Yeah, so, by the way, I did not throw in that edit of him just randomly cutting himself off. That is from his actual video. But I also wanted to say that the intro and the whole, like, thing of him doing... Like, that's just very strange. Why would you make this video like this? And what the heck is up with the editing in this? So...
Wednesday. So first thing Monday morning, we're going to be doing a live stream. We're going to cover a lot of that stuff, and I'm going to do a much better breakdown. You can see that I have the PS5 Pro here. It's one of the best looking engines we have from a third-party developer.
Again, I did not make that cut. That was him making that cut. I've just been playing the video. the whole thing with this is very strange to me. Like, what is the point of this video? It's like, oh yeah, here I have the PS5 Pro. I didn't think I would get it, but I have it now, and here's the PS5. And then he just like takes him about a minute into this 2-minute video to finally get to whatever the heck point that he made. And he even again cuts himself off in the beginning of the start of his sentence. What editing software are you using that corrupted like most of the stuff here? Also, I made sure to download this video in as high of a quality as possible, but even with that, look at the quality. Again, this is supposed to be 1440p that I downloaded this video at, just to make it a little bit better, but I don't know if it's just the way that I got the video off of his channel, and maybe because of some stupid compression on YouTube. I will chalk it up to that, but this doesn't look the greatest in terms of a motion shot of panning or whatever. So yeah, I will chalk this up to the way that the video is kind of rendered, and it's just, yeah. So I'm not going to say it's his stuff, or maybe it's his recording software. I don't know. There's a lot of moving parts to this. But anyway.
5. It's one of the best looking engines we have from a third-party developer. However, it has a lot to be desired when it comes to performance. Well, I'm here to tell you from a test that I've already conducted before recording this new footage for this video. When you pan the camera around, there is no more lagginess. When you pan the camera around,
I mean, again, it might be that there might be some frame drops, but it's maybe that they are upscaling that's actually giving you back more frames. But just testing it with your eyeballs isn't great. Again, to go back to what I said earlier, the quality I'm going to assume was just because of the way that this video is compressed and recontextualized and just doesn't look good, at least in the way that I got it. But, like, dude, saying, oh yeah, the game play here, frame stuff, looks pretty good, despite the fact that I have no instruments or anything to actually test the frame ratingness here. Because I recently got into doing frame stuff for my games, because I have a second monitor that I pull up a different thing that like monitors my frame rate. I was somehow getting like 100 and something frames at a time, and it would drop down to like 70. I didn't notice that much of a difference when it dropped down to 70, but that's just me personally, and also because that game is a bit more, I wouldn't say it's more intensive, I would say it's more, no, I mean, I don't know. It was the finals, by the way, so I somehow get like 100 frames there. But that's neither here nor there. But monitoring that, even like if I look at the different numbers on the sides, like it's hard for me to tell sometimes just by looking at it. So I wouldn't trust it. I would recommend trusting the actual frame stuff that you have to monitor your stuff. So
lagginess when you pan the camera around. From what I'm seeing right here, no more frame drops. Now, Digital Foundry did a test for this game on Xbox and PlayStation 5, and they found that you do have some problems when it comes to the frame rates, very much so on the console version. Now, I don't know if Digital Foundry is going to redo every single game that they talk shit about when they were testing out PS5.
Yes, giving a fair critique that the game here drops a lot of frames on the console version of this game, because they compared all of them with actual instruments to be able to do that. That right there is talking shit, apparently. Like, I know that he kind of brushes by that, but that's not talking it. And Digital Foundry will most likely do a lot of the same tests to kind of compare the two, because, again, a lot of the same games are cross-compatible with the console versions that are available right now. So I'd assume they would do that. But just saying, oh yeah, they're talking shit about the console when they give you an actual critique saying, hey, right here in this general area, it tends to drop frames because there's a lot of things that are loading in here. That is apparently, quote, talking shit and not giving a critique of a console that has been monitored by instruments that allow you to see dips and drops in frame rates. So, like, this is why covering JTech is very weird sometimes, especially in this video because the editing is so strange.
Single game that they talk shit about when they were testing out PS5. Because they have a lot of games to do comparisons for. because they said a lot of bad things about the PS5. So now that the PS5 Pro is here, I would say roughly around 300 games.
I mean, most likely. They're probably going to take it a little bit. And I distinctly remember that I saw a review of the PS5 Pro where they said, yeah, it's not as good as everyone's saying it is, and we have the information, the backing to do it. So, you know.
That they complained that the PS5 didn't have this or it wasn't doing this. Now we have the Pro. I would expect them to do those comparisons and hopefully have it on everybody's desk by the end of the fucking year. Because the PS5 Pro, I can confirm with my eyes, is the fucking truth. This game I just played right before I prepared my old PS5 for trade-in. It was having a lot of frame rate problems. It was frame rate dropping all over the fucking place.
Okay, so yeah, again, I didn't make that edit right there. That was just him actually ending the video with his thing, which I didn't catch the ending bit of that, but I find it again very funny how he says, "Oh yeah, this game, by the way, was dropping all these frames." And I can say that as someone who can see the actual things, and I can say that, and that's more of a critique of the old console. But when Digital Foundry, someone who has the actual like knowledge and the monitoring systems to see more frame rate drops and to get the experiences more one-to-one, that's them talking shit. I am a better reviewer because I can see it with my own eyeballs. Like, oh my god. Jay, there's a reason why people stopped covering you, and this video probably won't get a lot of views because of that. But, Jay, either you see that the PS5 had a bunch of frame drops with specific games that a lot of the Digital Foundry tested, and that was a genuine critique of the console, or it's not. Like, you can't just say, oh, well, they just had all these things that they were talking shit about the console, and yet when you say it, it's more of a quote-unquote genuine critique. And again, the editing of this second video is so much worse than most of the standards that are there. It is insane to me. These PS5 fanboys, and I guess specifically JayTech in this, will continuously try to justify their stuff. I've talked about this before, but like, there are people out there that are still trying to justify the whole PlayStation Portal, as well as trying to justify getting the PS5 Pro because, oh yeah, all this stuff is really good, despite the fact that I saw someone, I don't know where it was, I'll probably pull it up and it'll probably talk about it more, but someone, I think it was Nicola, said it's like having the Infinity Gauntlet, and it was them having the PlayStation 5, the PSVR, and like a couple other things for PlayStation stuff. I was like, this is like having the entire thing of a great gaming experience. Despite the fact that the PSVR 2, which is the one that he actually had, it works on PC now because of through a dongle type thing. The PlayStation controller can also work on the PC. And again, it was like, I believe either the standard PS5 or the PS5 Pro, which Digital Foundry has kind of proven is not as like good as certain computer parts. So, anyway, I think that'll about do it for this video of I found a couple videos that just I wanted to talk about this week. Next time on this sort of segment, I'm probably going to be going over the Nintendo fanboy Harmon Smith, so do watch out for that. I'll just have to go through his like 50 videos that he's uploaded since the time that I took the last one. There was another video that I wanted to talk about, which was like the uglification of Western video games, which I might talk about, but that one seems to be a bit more political, so I'm going to wait a couple weeks for that one, just in case. But right now, with that being said, thank you so much for watching. My name is GamePenguin21, and a peace off.